Hey gang, so this move right here is something that Casey Houle figured out and posted to the Double Staff group on Facebook several months ago. And what it's intended to be is essentially a double staff version of Kate's Antibrid weave, which is a move that Kate McCoy developed for poi several years ago. It is not quite an Antibrid weave. It is still cool, but in the past few weeks I've been working on actually turning this into an Antibrid weave, and I've succeeded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down both of the different approaches to doing it, both Casey's approach as well as my approach. This first video is going to be Casey's approach, and the next video is going to be how I do it. And hopefully in the process of this, we'll figure out both what makes that weave work, as well as different ways that tricks for poi can translate over to tricks for double staff. So just to start, let's do a little bit of theory on what exactly Kate's Antibrid weave is. And it's performed in such a fashion that the poi are always moving in opposites, sometimes in together opposites and sometimes in split time opposites. What this means is that it feels like the weave that you're performing is forwards, irregardless of which side of your body it happens to be on. It also, however, means that one of the poi is always moving in anti-spin relative to the other poi. Now what makes this work is essentially we're performing a 3-beat weave between one hand and the other poi. Generally speaking, you're reaching a hand across your body, and the poi attached to that hand is then performing a 3-beat weave compared to the hand on that side of the body. So for example, if I'm reaching my left hand across to the right hand side of my body, it's going to be my right hand that moves around in what would feel like a 3-beat weave. That is, it's going to turn twice on my left side and once on my right side, while my left hand stays more or less riveted to my right shoulder, and the left hand poi performs what would normally be a 3-beat weave. Now, when I get my right hand poi involved, it is performing a triquetra, but it's performing it in such a way that I complete one triquetra for each circle that my hand completes. In other words, 3 triquetras in a 3-beat weave. What's really cool about this is that I can now switch across to the other side of my body, having my right hand riveted to my left shoulder, having my left hand performing the move as if it were doing a forwards 3-beat weave, and my right hand poi performing the other side of the 3-beat weave with it. Now, normally when we describe something as an antibrid, it means that the hand is moving evenly with the poi head of the opposite hand. In this particular case, it's moving around the same circle, but on the opposite side of it. We kind of give it a mulligan on this. So how does Casey take this concept and run with it? Well, let's break it up piece by piece. So we're going to start imagining that our home base is always going to be with our 2 thumb ends pointed towards each other directly in front of us in a horizontal line like this. Now, the left hand, as we're going over to the right hand side here, is going to essentially perform an isolated 2-beat, where we always have the pinky end pointing away from us, and that thumb end always essentially riveted to the right hand shoulder like this. The right hand, on the other hand, is going to perform what I like to refer to as a pinky mode anti-spin, namely a 4-pedal anti-spin, like this. But how do we put these 2 pieces together? So glad you asked. We're going to do it piece by piece here. Again, we start right here with our 2 thumb ends pointed towards each other. And what we're going to do is we are going to drop the thumb end of our right hand staff down as our left hand pinky end goes straight up towards the ceiling. From here, we're going to bring the pinky end of our right hand staff behind our back like this, as the pinky end of our left hand staff points forward off to our right hand side. You'll note the thumb ends are pointing towards each other again. Now, I'm going to bring my right hand thumb end straight up as my left hand pinky end points down towards the floor, and I'm going to shoot my right hand pinky end out directly in front of me like this. My left hand is now inside my right armpit, and its pinky end is pointing back behind me. Again, my 2 thumb ends should be pointing towards each other. From here, the thumb end on my right hand staff goes straight down towards the ground. The pinky end of my left hand staff is up behind my back, behind my head, like this. Now I'm going to bring the thumb end of my right hand staff up in between my arms, like this, as the pinky end of my left hand staff points out back towards my right hand side. Next, I'm going to bring the thumb end of my right hand staff up towards the ceiling as the pinky end of my left hand staff points down towards the ground, like so. Now I'm going to bring it back to the position that I started in, with my 2 thumb ends pointed towards each other and the 2 pinky ends pointed out in a horizontal line. So altogether, it winds up being, we have right pinky down, thumbs together, right thumb up, thumbs together, right thumb down, thumbs together, right thumb up, thumbs together. If you're thinking about what the left hand is doing, it is pinky up, pinky out, pinky down, pinky behind, pinky up, pinky side, pinky down, pinky side. Yeah? Now, we can also learn this on the other side of the body. So, for example, I'm now going to have the right-hand staff performing a 2-beat with my pinky end going around in circles like this over towards my left-hand side. Well, now it's going to be my left-hand staff is performing that anti-spin, like so. Yeah? So let's break that down. In this particular case, it's going to be my right-hand pinky goes up as my left-hand thumb goes down. My left-hand pinky goes behind my back as my right-hand pinky points forward. Left-hand thumb goes up, right-hand pinky goes down. Right hand goes into the left armpit as the left-hand pinky goes out forward in front of me. Both thumbs pointed down as my right-hand pinky is pointed up behind my back. Come around in front of me so that my thumbs are pointed towards each other and each pinky is pointed out away from me. Left hand thumb end is up, right hand pinky end is down, and then back to home base, right? So on, and so forth. When I want to switch sides, it means that I have to do an extra half of an anti-spin. So for example, if I've just completed the left-hand side, what I can do is do both thumb ends down and then come up so that my arms are crossed. From here, it's going to be my right thumb end goes up, and then my right pinky goes out, and now I'm in a position where I can easily recognize the next thing that has to happen. And vice versa. When I'm switching from my right side to my left side, it's going to be my right hand thumb end goes down and around to get to this point right here where I can exit like so. When you get up to speed, this is a really, really cool looking move that kind of defies the audience's expectations of what it perhaps ought to be. I will confess there are some reaches in here that are a bit of a challenge for me, which is ironic because I know my version of it, there are some reaches that Casey has a challenge with. So next week I'm going to be back with my own version of how to do this, which does turn it into an antibrid. This version right here, of course, is a hybrid. That is, antibrids are when we have a point of contact between one of the wicks / ends of the staff and the handle, right? So in this particular case, what we're doing is always isolation versus anti-spin, which is cool, but it is not an antibrid. It is a straight-up hybrid. So, how to perform this move as a full-on antibrid coming at you next week. Thanks for watching, and I will see you then. Peace. This video right here was made thanks to the kind contributions of these folks right here. They found me at patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi and signed up to make a contribution every month. By doing so, they got access to a whole bunch of extra footage from the videos that I put out every month, plus which, a number of really awesome rewards. If you or anybody that you know has learned something from one of the videos that I've put out, please consider going to patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi and signing up to be a supporter. Thank you.